So Allah there compares winds to horses. Horses, wild horses. Wild horses, the back of the mane of the horse is called urf. Okay? وَالْمُرْسَلَاتِ عُرْفًا means the back of the wild horse that has been let go. The back of the wild horse, he swears by the back of the wild horse that has been let go. Now, imagine when you're trying to tame a wild horse, it's not saddled. There's no rope on it. The only thing you can grab is what? The mane, the back of its neck. And you let go of it. If you let go of it, what's it going to do? It's going to run wild. It's going to go as fast as it possibly can. It wants you off its back. فَالْعَاصِفَاتِ عَصْفًا. Then they move. See the fa? Which means it's still talking about the same horse, right? They move in a way that doesn't take anything into consideration. If there's a child in front of that horse, it's going to run over the child. If there's a fence in front of it, it's going to break through the fence. You understand? It's going to just smash through whatever comes in its path. That's فَالْعَاصِفَاتِ عَصْفًا. Now, Allah is comparing winds to that wild horse in that surah. Allah is telling us that these winds, today when we were walking here to the center, there was a nice breeze. That breeze is basically Allah grabbing the reins of the wind and pulling it back and saying, calm down. And sometimes Allah lets that wind go. And when He lets it go, we call those tornadoes and hurricanes and typhoons. And that's you know what that means? That the natural way of these winds is to be wild. And the only one pulling them back and calming them down is Allah. And He swears by the few moments when He does what? He lets them go, and when they move, they don't care about what's in their path. If there's a house in front of them, the house is gone in 30 seconds. There's a building, there used to be a building here. I live in Texas, in Dallas, it's inland, and it's actually a tornado zone. So sometimes Allah lets the back of the horse go, and you'll see brick houses. Within 10 to 15 seconds, you will not know there was a house here. Within 10 to 15 seconds. Once it touches down, a bomb couldn't do what these winds do. It couldn't do what these winds do. It's unreal the kind of damage they can unleash. So that's what He's talking about, the destructive power of winds. And He's telling the people in Surah Al-Mursalat that He's talking to, He's telling them, listen, the only reason you're actually talking all this trash and insulting the Prophet and saying, oh, you're gonna come after us, you and what army? Allah says, the army you feel on your face every day. It's just me, a matter of me letting go of this a little bit. Then He contrasts this and says, وَالنَّاشِرَاتِ نَشْرًا وَالْفَالْفَارِقَاتِ. See, وَالنَّاشِرَاتِ نَشْرًا. What does wa do? Same thing or different thing now? Different kinds of winds that distribute, that spread. They spread seeds. They spread pollen. They spread clouds. They spread rain. And they divide up. Another word for division, al-fariqat. They divide up the rizq of Allah. So Allah is saying the same winds that can bring death are the same winds that bring life. Right? That's the beautiful imagery in Al-Mursalat. But now let's come back to Ad-Dhariyat. I'm most convinced, and I incline towards the meaning that all of these oaths are actually directly referring to the winds. They are referring to the wind. That's what I find most convincing. And if there are other implications, they are by connection to the wind, but not directly. Okay? So from that point of view, now what I want you to do is I want you to understand, by the way, all of these are the oaths, but the oaths are not the point. What's the point? The Jawabul Qasam, isn't it? But I want you to just stay with me for a little bit, and I want you to think about what I'm going to do now. It's going to be a little crazy, but it's okay. By the way, Zamakhshari also posited that this is all referring to the winds. So classically, that opinion has also existed.